Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. Another quick one. I thought I should mention, because I haven't, there's two things I want to talk about. One is just quick, obviously I have to talk about Brexit. I think there's another meaningful vote today. I've always believed that I don't think we're actually ever going to leave, so I'll be surprised if it gets through, and I'm sure we're going to revoke Article 50, and then there'll be another vote, and eventually everyone will say, no, we want to stay. I mean, that would actually explain the incompetence of the people that we pay and elect as MPs, who have made a complete mess of these negotiations from the very start, from the referendum, when they didn't play party politics. I thought that they would actually outline, the actual pros and cons, without like pointing fingers at each other and playing those silly games that they do. This is our lives, this is our country. I mean, wow, I say those things, but I don't believe in those things anymore. It's just a piece of land that someone gave a name to and put a border around it and said, this is mine. It's no more theirs or mine than anyone's. But anyway, what I'm saying is that in a way it's good, because hopefully people will now see that are starting to see, I was going to say start to see that these politicians don't have our best interests, and they're not really, doing a great job at things, and all they're doing is protecting themselves. That's why I think this Irish backstop thing is, I think, a diversion. I think, eventually maybe it will go through, and I think that's to make us stop seeing the other parts. Because I don't understand why the Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland issue has to be such a big issue. Just one part is in the EU, one part's not. I mean, sure, there's parts of Europe where that's already the case. They don't have to build a bloody great wall or start having border just because of an economic, an invisible economic process. Maybe I'm not getting it 100%, but I just think there's something else. The fact that we're probably still in the EU, that there's probably some money that's still going to them, or they still have some control, or custom union, or this, that, and the other. But it doesn't really bother me anyway, because I don't believe in countries anymore. I don't believe. I'm sounding like John Lennon. He was advanced, wasn't he? They're all made up. We just live on a piece of land with some sea around it. I'm talking about the place that we live. I struggle for words because I can't use the word earth or world, because earth it's not really, we gave it that name, and I'm sure it had previous names. Anyway, that's another story. So yeah, I would expect that either it's going to get through and this backstop is hiding something else, diverting us from that, or we're just going to end up being part of the EU and not give the people what they wanted, or sort of give them another vote and then make the people change their mind, because no one's going to vote to leave now when they've seen the politicians make such a great mess of it and make it out to be this really complicated thing. Maybe it is, I don't know. Anyway, enough of that rubbish. So this morning I saw an advert. I didn't catch all of it, but I'm sure you can see it. It was on Sky News, it was in between, and it was saying about, it was to do with fake news, and it was saying, in a patronising voice, you wouldn't believe just one source, would you? It just made me laugh. The way that people will lie, or the way that people will mislead people, because they're trying to make you think about, fake news, maybe like a story you see on Facebook, or, a video that you hear or watch on YouTube. Why would you believe it? If someone starts saying the world is flat, you wouldn't believe in just one source, would you? But whoa, just wait a minute. How have we all lived for the last 100 years? We've always believed like that. There's lots of people who only watch BBC News. So are you saying just because they watch BBC News, then that means that they shouldn't just trust it? Bullshit. You've never said that, but when it was the case, when the BBC was the only broadcaster for years, back in the 1930s and 40s and 50s, until ITV came along, and in America it would be, I don't know, CBS or ABC, whichever one was first, and wherever you are, SABC in South Africa or whatever. You're not trying to say People used to just buy one newspaper. No one went out and bought the Times and the Mail and the Telegraph, did they? You bought one newspaper, you read it, then you believed it, didn't you? But I mean, it's good what they're saying is true. You shouldn't believe just one source. But the fact is, it shouldn't be just picked at fake news. It should be pointed at the BBC. It should be pointed at Sky. We all remember the Iraq War and how different media institutions sold us the lie. It just makes you laugh when you see their attempt to try and brainwash you, without really seeing the fact that that's how we've all lived. We've always done that. Most people only believe in one source and don't bother to go and check it out. They don't go and fact check. Oh, is there really a war in Syria? Did they really drop some chemical weapons? Let's go and have a flight over there and have a check. No, they put Sky News on or BBC News or CNN, and they see it and they believe it. I don't know. Maybe it's good. Maybe, but the thing is, because they're just directing it towards fake news, that's all that people are going to think about. So basically, it's just a way to endorse the mainstream media. Oh, the mainstream media, they've never lied before. They've never misled us before, have they? Come on. How stupid do you think we are? Or maybe people are because they're sheep. So I'm getting carried away now, aren't I? Anyway, I thought I'd just bring that to you because it just made me laugh this morning at their attempts to... I mean, I understand the idea of fact-checking is important, and I guess that would actually make, the videos that we make on YouTube and this, that, if we had an organisation, a YouTube channel where we did fact check all our stuff to make sure that it's 100% as much as possible. No one does 100%. Even the BBC don't go around fact checking that much. As long as their journalist has a source and that source is viable, then they'll print it. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. So I'm a bit manic today, aren't I? So yeah, it would be good if we had a channel like that where we could get rid of some of the easy errors that, I mean, I'm sure I've made many of them. If you go through my podcast, I'm sure you'll find lots of things where factually I'm inaccurate, I'm fallacious. I don't know, I guess it's too much work, isn't it, really? We're not getting paid for it. But yeah, that's always going to be the downfall to videos and on YouTube and this, that and the other, because we're tarred with that brush that we a lot of times we just say things like, I'm just spurting out my truth. But I'm not out to convince someone or change someone. I just want people to think, your truth is your own truth, and what I really want is that people stop following like sheep, and we start to change this world that we've inherited. And when I mean inherited, I mean from the people before us. I don't mean from a million years ago. The people before us that have given us this world and said this is how things must be done. I want us to change those types of things and understand the truths of that we don't really know much about anything. We've just put it in front of us and stamped it on a piece of paper and, hope for the best. Take care, take it easy, God bless and peace.